I'm Clayton Ferry from VS Energy, and today we're here to talk about the LightAway technology. So what I have next to me here is the LightAway display panel, which essentially is the overhead view of a facility. And for demonstration purposes, we'll say this is a school, right? So you have classrooms, hallways, and all these LEDs here are the overhead lights inside that school. Now what we're going to do today is show you how the LightAway technology responds to an active shooter situation. And what happens is we place a bunch of gunfire detection sensors inside the facility, and if an active shooter situation occurs, we can detect exactly where the shooter is and communicate that to the building occupants and show them the safest exit outside of the building. So we want to direct them out of harm's way and get them out of the building as safe and as fast as possible. So what happens when gunfire is detected is the lights, the overhead lights, they change color to communicate A, what the situation is, and B, where the safest exit is. So as you can see here, the shooter is in the bottom left-hand location in this facility, and the LightAway system's detected that and is directing building occupants out and away from that shooter. So the red is indicating imminent threat area, basically don't go there. The yellow is communicating to the occupants that there is an active shooter inside the facility. And in the hallways, we're directing people to the closest and safest exit to follow. So we want to get you out of the facility as quickly and as safely as possible, as I said. And the overhead lights are it's lighting the path to safety, essentially. Now, the great thing about the LightAway technology is if the shooter changes location, the LightAway technology instantaneously responds to that. So if we detect gunfire in a different location, we'll update the overhead lights and show you the safest pathway out of the building. So as you can see here, the shooter has changed locations. They're now here. The lights have responded, and we're directing people out and away to the safest exit now. So these lights turn red. We don't want you in that hallway close to the shooter. Everywhere else, it's safe to go. So you know what's going on and where to go for really the entirety of the situation as the shooter moves throughout the facility and we detect shots in different locations. Now with that being said, these are our gunfire detection sensors by Shooter Detection Systems, and I will let Brian talk a little bit about the sensor technology that we're using as part of the LightAway system.
Hi, my name is Brian Giampaoli. I'm with Shooter Detection Systems, and Clayton had started talking a little bit about what our gunshot detection is. I want to go a little more detail how it works and so you understand the product. We actually developed a product for the military, and we're protecting our troops, and we decided to bring it as an indoor product to help protect patrons and building occupants in situations where there's an active shooter. So we use a dual technology to make sure that the gunshot is actually a gunshot and not just some background noise. So with the dual technology, what we're doing is we are using acoustics to listen for the gunshot, but then we validate it and verify it with infrared sensors looking for the flash coming out of the muzzle of the weapon. That's what allows us to have a zero false alert rate and allow us to very quickly get accurate and detailed information to building occupants as well as first responders, and feed that information to the LightAway system, so therefore it knows which lights to turn on, how to direct people out of the area or into a safe zone within the building, and make the system be reliable.
All right, so guys, as you can see in this scenario, the shooter discharges weapon in the first location within the facility, and as he moved throughout the facility and shot again in the second location, the LightAway system instantly responded, showing the occupants that A, there's an active shooter in the facility, and B, when he moves, showing them where the safest exits are. So as you saw, he got to a different location in the school, and some exits now are not safe to use, so we're directing people out and away from those exits. So as you can see, when there's two shooters in the facility and shots are coming from different locations, the LightAway technology can see that and respond accordingly. So as you saw on the panel, both locations lit up red, showing where each shooter was. So now people in the building know there's multiple shooters, and they know don't go to either of those locations and go to the safest exits away from both shooters.
So the question is, why LightAway? If you're even considering LightAway, then you've probably thought or maybe even have implemented other measures that are preventive, like metal detectors, automated door lock systems. But once a threat goes through the preventive measures, now you're in the detection mode. So we have gunshot detection. Why is gunshot detection alone not enough? In an active shooter situation, and unfortunately we've had the opportunity to review scenes from post-active shooter situations, and in every case, the active shooter situation results in occupant confusion, inability to identify where the shots originate, and what may or may not be a safe egress path. LightAway takes that away, and using LightAway in training, either during fire alarm or active shooter drills, acclimates and ingrains the thought process to follow the lights to safety or follow the lighting cues to shelter in place or whatever the travel path or shelter in place needs to be. So it's an automated, dynamic countermeasure that responds and changes during the course of an active shooter situation or a fire or any other emergency that you have integrated within a building.
Yeah, and the great thing about LightAway is you can use it not only during emergency situations, right? So in practice, we never want the LightAway system to be needed in a facility. But for day-to-day operations, if it's School Spirit Week and you want to do the school colors as your overhead lights, or there's a PTA meeting after hours and you want to direct the occupants where to go for that meeting, or in the gymnasium have your lights do anything, or even just for normal daylighting operations, if it's a sunny day out, we can dim the lights back to save energy. So LightAway has a lot of other different functionalities that can be used on a day-to-day basis and not needed for emergency threat situations that we showed today.